nobody alive that didn't know they killed him. He's dead, boy. I'll tell you about the Yellow King.
The King in Yellow is a book of short stories by the American writer Robert W. Chambers, first published in 1895 by F. Tennyson Neely in the United States and Chatto and Windus in the UK. The book is named after a play with the same title, which recurs as a motif through some of the book's highly esteemed weird stories. The collection has been described by many critics as a classic in the field of the supernatural. There are 10 stories, the first 4 of which, The Repairer of Reputations, The Mask, In the Court of the Dragon, and The Yellow Sign, mention the King in Yellow, a forbidden play which induces despair or madness in those who read it. With its strange imaginative blend of horror, science fiction, romance, and lyrical prose, The King in Yellow is a classic masterpiece of weird fiction, and has been hailed as the most important book in American supernatural fiction between Edgar Allan Poe and the modern masters. H.P. Lovecraft, creator of the famed Cthulhu mythos, whose own fiction was greatly influenced by this book, stated that The King in Yellow achieves notable heights of cosmic fear. The colour yellow signifies the decadent and aesthetic attitudes that were fashionable at the turn of the 19th century, typified by such publications as the Yellow Book, a literary journal associated with Oscar Wilde and Aubrey Beardsley. It has also been suggested that the colour yellow represents quarantine, an allusion to decay, disease, and specifically mental illness. For instance, Charlotte Perkins Gilman's famous short story, The Yellow Wallpaper, involving a bedridden woman's descent into madness, was published shortly before Chambers' book. The stories are macabre in tone, centering on characters that are often artists or decadents. The first story, The Repairer of Reputations, is set in an imagined future 1920s America, whose history, being at odds with the knowledge of the reader, adds to the effect of its unreliable narrator. The King in Yellow Annotated Edition is published by Arc Dream. It was designed by Simeon Cogswell, and acclaimed artist Samuel Araya graces this edition with his finest work. Full-page paintings and unnerving sketches evoke the weird romance of Robert Chambers' finest tales. Author Kenneth Hite annotates each tale with his lengthy knowledge and insights, bringing an impressive level of background and subsequently immersion into this classic book. This edition is published in hardcover and is 8.5 inches wide by 11 inches tall. It has a leather cover with a serpent skin pattern and gold foil embossing. The foreword is by John Scott Tynes. There are also appendices that further explore the origins of this work. This edition is limited to 1,200 copies, and every print order comes with the PDF digital edition. It runs to 206 pages.